Hi, I'm Dr. Wright, giving you common sense solutions to everyday problems. And if you like what you hear, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. Today we will be discussing the 5 most important reasons that we should be utilizing the glove protection protocol. So without further ado, let's get started. Shakespeare once wrote that our doubts are traitors that make us lose the good we oft might win. Translation: we sometimes miss out on our blessings or good fortune or information because of doubts and questioning its veracity because of who said it. Was it an expert or a common person? Does that sound too good to be true? Or since the experts aren't espousing it nationally, then it can't be legitimate, can it? Well, once people were convinced that the earth was flat or that the sun revolved around the earth because the so-called experts thought so. But when people examined these truths with common sense and empirical evidence, those so-called paradigms were changed. Now, that's why this is my focus with my touting the glove protection protocol. But why is this? Because masks, again, despite this vocal espousing of them, have not put a dent in the scourge of COVID-19. There are more masks being worn than ever, but with more coronavirus cases than ever. And this is a contradiction in empirical logic and statistics. But no one dares to address that but me. So why the glove protection protocol? I will cite 5 important reasons why the glove protection protocol will defeat COVID-19 where masks have abjectly failed. Number 1. The glove protection protocol is 100% effective. Nothing other than a hazmat suit can make such a claim. Even the best face mask available to the general public, the N95 mask, only filters 95% of particulate matter, meaning that 5% of virulent particles can still reach you. Gloves stop at the infection point, which is touch. It stops COVID-19 100%. I cannot stress this enough. We're told that COVID-19 is spread by particles in the air. But ask yourself this question: how many times do you encounter people who are openly sneezing and coughing into the air that everybody scatters away from that person like the plague, pardon the pun? Now, ask yourself this question: how many things do you touch daily that could have particles that people may have sneezed on or touched or left the coronavirus onto? 100, 200? It's not easy to think that that could not be a point of contact. You could think it's an easy assumption to make. It's an easy assumption to believe that if you are a person, like if you work in a McDonald's or some sort of delivery person, that you're touching items 200 or 300 times a day. So we need to move away from this obsession with the mask only. And the only way masks are the solution to the problem is if COVID-19 is actually airborne. But if that is so, then no common mask is going to protect us. Not even the N95 mask. And certainly not the cloth mask or the paper mask. This virus is tactile in nature, not airborne, meaning that you're touching things. You're touching doorknobs, or you're touching handles, or you're touching something at a grocery store, and you're bringing it back to your house, and you're infecting your house and your household subsequently from that. So we need to understand this. It is tactile, it is touch. That's how this scourge is moving around the world. Thus, we need the glove protection protocol. Number 2. It is proven to work. New York City tried everything that the WHO, the White House pundits, and other people stated that we should do. Masks, socially distancing, hand washing, all to no avail. New York City was the epicenter of the COVID-19 problem around the world. It was not until residents decided to or were encouraged to wear gloves to mitigate touching virulent surfaces around the city. After they did that, the cases dropped dramatically to the point where out of 8.3 million people in New York City, they only have 800 people who are hospitalized. That is an amazing statistic, which means that for all intents and purposes, New York City has defeated COVID-19. Why? because of wearing gloves. Number 3, no one else is wearing gloves except for doctors, nurses, food preparation employees, and delivery persons. In other words, people who need to guard against transferring germs and disease. Billions of people are donning masks daily, while virtually none of them are wearing gloves, and they're touching things with their bare hands. And think of the number of times you'd have to sanitize your hands versus the number of times you touch things in a day. But the fact is that no one is wearing gloves, and that the touch transfer mode of transmission is a major, if not the primary mode of infection and transfer of COVID-19. Number 4, the glove protection protocol is cost effective. Gloves are inexpensive. They can be worn again and again if not torn, and if they're properly sanitized, they provide 100% protection. Gloves can be of the surgical nature or latex type, or any type that can be sanitized with a spray, with hand sanitizers, or anything that you can use to sanitize your gloves. And the cost can be as low as 30 to 50% per pair if they're purchased in a bulk pack. So you think about it, you purchase a pack of 20 for $10, that's a good deal. Okay, number 5, gloves can be worn at work comfortably all day long, and that would mitigate you having to touch different things, virulent objects, and then bring it back to your home. And if you use the glove protection protocol, as I recommend, that you would sanitize the gloves and then sanitize your hands after you take the gloves off, you have 2 levels of protection with the gloves. And if you think about it in this regard, that people like CSI investigators, they wear gloves all day long to keep from contaminating their investigation sites. And gloves also can be worn in different colors where they're effectively useful in, like, having them in your wardrobe. Like if you had something that was black or clear, whatever, you could color coordinate the gloves to your wardrobe. So in that regard, you would not feel awkward in wearing a pair of gloves to your job or maybe even a social event. So gloves are not only an effective measure against COVID-19, they can be worn fashionably. So they're fashionable and effective. So there you have it. 5 important reasons that we should be following the glove protection protocol. I'm Dr. Feelright. Thank you for watching, and please hit the subscribe button if you like what you've heard. Have a good day.